Hello, YouTube viewers. I have to tell you about something that is just killing me. On July 15th, 2015, the Dr. Drew show aired. I believe it was a Wednesday. Never in my life have I been so angry and upset. The show covered the topic of our favorite rapist, Bill Cosby. Now, Dr. Drew maybe started out okay, but then I got to thinking, when the Duggar molestation scandal broke, he lambasted the little Duggar boy, who was a teenager who molested his sisters. Now, first off, let me say, I'm not a big fan of the Duggars. I know they've criticized gay people a lot. I know they're more conservative than most of America. I know the parents probably, by their own admission, didn't handle the molestation that well. And I know Josh Duggar was old enough to know that feeling up your sisters is pretty inappropriate. But the fact remains, he's a molester, not a rapist. Not that that makes it better, but there is a distinction. And he was underage. Dr. Drew was all torn up about that, angry and upset, criticizing Jim Bob and Michelle, who hadn't actually done anything physically. They had just reacted poorly to the fact that their own son was a molester. He criticized them and seemed, in my opinion, to be pleased when their show went off the air. He didn't say it, but it seemed like he was excited that their show was going bye-bye. Now, fast forward to July 15th, Wednesday, in the year 2015. Bill Cosby, we found out, has confessed to raping multiple women, most of whom were white or were light-skinned black women. There were massive age differences between him and the women he raped. He used his power, his charisma, his intelligence, his money, and his celebrity to lure these women out, to poison them, so he could rape them. This wasn't a misunderstanding of consent. This wasn't a long-term relationship that went sour. He's been knocking out multiple women and having sex with them, which in a lot of ways is the perfect crime for a rapist, because how are they going to report promptly that they've been raped? Those drugs wipe your memory out for a small amount of time. And by the time they remember it, the forensic evidence is gone. But nevertheless, Dr. Drew was talking to one of his black female panelists and another black lady in the audience, I believe, and I am doing this from memory. And he asked if the attention on Bill Cosby seemed too much. Really? Oh, it may seem like too much. I see. I wonder if it was a white man who was raping young black women, if it would seem like too much. Huh. And has he called for the Bill Cosby show to be removed from the air? Huh. Just a few weeks ago, amid the major accusations, the Bill Cosby show was still on the air, at least on one of my TV channels. I don't know about yours. It may have been the spinoff, Cosby, not The Cosby Show, but Cosby. Either way, that almost makes it worse. Now, the Dr. Drew show, and of course the Duggars have to go off the air, but Bill Cosby, well, he's just done so much for the black community in America. Yeah, maybe the black community and America as a whole should stop putting actors, professional athletes, and other entertainers on a pedestal. They're not your dad. They're not a great theologian. They're not a great philosopher. They're not a great scientist. From where I stand, they objectively haven't contributed that much to society. They're not your dad. Come on now. If you learned your morals and ethics from a sitcom TV show, I feel very, very sorry for you. It's kind of an insult to black people everywhere. Well, we can't just erase him from history because he's just done so much. No, ultimately, he made black men look like animals. He made them look like a 1900s stereotype of a wild, savage black man going around raping white women. It's just stunning to me that more people aren't angry about this. And why is he not in prison? Well, I can answer that. The answer we already know. California, good old liberal, feminist California, who's going to set the entire country straight about ethics. Well, they have a statute of limitations on rape, even if he's confessed. So Bill Cosby won't do any prison time for most of the rapes. There may be one or two we'll catch him on. But yeah, most of them he won't do any prison time, even though we know he's confessed. He's pretty much, we've got it on tape. He pretty much said he did it. I don't know about you, but that disgusts me. Just disgusting. If we have a man on tape confessing who wasn't under police manipulation, who wasn't on drugs, who wasn't asleep or half asleep, who wasn't intellectually manipulated, just casually saying, yeah, I did it. I mean, he's come out and said he obtained drugs to give to women. That's a crime. They should at least be able to prosecute him for that. Even Alabama doesn't have a statute of limitations on rape, and they're considered to be backwards and misogynist women haters thriving on religion. And then which, Dr. Drew obviously didn't embrace this young man, but then there was a man in the audience who said he was tired of the women acting all innocent. I don't know about you, but if someone poisons you and you pass out, I think that's about as innocent as it comes. Don't you? They didn't contribute to their rape at all. They weren't even alert. They weren't even aware of it. That's about as innocent as it comes. Well, they went out for coffee with them. Who wouldn't at one time have gone out for coffee with Bill Cosby? Who wouldn't have? He seemed trustworthy. They always do. Most prolific serial rapists seem charming. Bill Cosby, an admired figure, may have raped more women than any man ever. I mean, I don't know the statistics on serial rapists, but he would have to be up there. He definitely gets a bronze star in raping a lot of women. And I don't know why more people aren't upset about this. I just don't know. I read an article today on the internet that said, let's separate the character Bill Cosby from the man Bill Cosby. How are we going to do that? They have the same name. Bill freaking Cosby. It's the same guy. And I'll tell you what, the Bill Cosby, the celebrity we knew, that's a character too. The real Bill Cosby is a serial rapist. He's a serial rapist. I'm also deeply upset in President Obama. He came on national TV and informed us that yes, drugging women and having sex with them is rape. Ah, you don't say. I think most people who haven't been living under a rock know that drugging women and having sex with them is rape. And if you don't know that, you were very morally bankrupt, or very ignorant, or very stupid, or very, very, very young, like 5. So he insulted America's intelligence, and then said, well, there's no mechanism for revoking it. Really? Huh. I would at least get on TV and say, it appears now that when Bush, I believe it was Bush, gave Bill Cosby the Presidential Medal, it was a mistake. And I would like to have it back. I mean, he probably wouldn't send it back in the mail or anything like that, but I would at least acknowledge to the American public, clearly and distinctly that it was a mistake. I think the reason the president hasn't criticized Bill Cosby is because of what he still represents to the black community. And President Obama, after all, is multiracial or black. But I tell you what, bigotry is bigotry. And I wonder, if it was a rich white man raping black women, would it be considered a hate crime? So if a rich black man rapes white women, why is it not a hate crime? I'm of the opinion that men raping women is about as hateful as a crime can get, period. It's always annoyed me. These men attack women sexually, and we know it's because they're women. It's because they're in a protected minority group, but it's not a hate crime. It's not a hate crime. President Obama showed up to give the eulogy to the dead African American church members who were shot by that crazy 21-year-old white man. And I don't condemn him for that. Those older black people in the church, and the young ones as well, I think it was mostly older black women who were shot, didn't deserve to die. And that young white man thought he was doing something for white women and white kind and white people. Come on now, going into a church and killing a bunch of old black ladies, you're not doing anything for anybody. You're not doing anything for society. You know, he's obviously an evil dude. But Obama gets upset about that, pitches a fit. Why has he not gotten upset and pitched a fit about the massive, I don't even remember the number, massive amount of women Bill Cosby's raped? He may not have killed them, but he's destroyed their lives forever. He's permanently altered their lives. I'm sure they wake up in the middle of the night in terror. I'm sure it's affected them intimately. It may have prevented them from having children. He may be spreading a disease. We don't know. These women may be living with a permanent STD. We don't know. And you know what? Bill Cosby did indirectly kill one of his victims, because one of them committed suicide. Where's President Obama? You're supposed to be a president for all the people, not just some of them. I'm deeply angry and upset by all of this. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. We need to stop protecting men who bully women, no matter what skin color they have, no matter how charming they are, no matter how much money or power they have. I don't care how politically incorrect the Duggars are. I don't care how charming Bill Cosby is. A crime is a crime. When people show you who they really are, believe them. And black community, if you need good examples of good black people, Ben Carson's a fine example. And I'm not just saying that because he's a conservative Republican. I myself am a moderate. There are a million black men you could find to be a good example. The hardworking mailman in your community, the moderate, open-minded pastor down the street, the black engineer who's your cousin who helped you with your math homework. I know a lot of us don't have a father. I didn't have the perfect family either. A lot of my family members have passed away. But I'm not going to make Lizzie Borden my idol. Jesus, this is ridiculous. Come on now. We can do better than that. We deserve better than that. So upset.